Greetings everybody. Today I'm going to be reviewing Houttuynia cordata, also known as the fish mint. This is a plant that smells and tastes like fish. Oh. I think saying this smells like fish is actually being a bit generous, because there's an extra kind of smell in there too. Alright. It actually smells worse when you crush the leaves. I haven't done this yet, but let's get a good whiff. Oh yeah. This smells a little bit like a wet dog. A wet dog that maybe was splashing around in a dirty pond with dead fish in it. It's not fishy smelling like cooked fish. It is fishy smelling like raw fish that was like sitting outside at like a fish market. I don't like fishy things. I'll put that out there right now. However, I am very intrigued by this because this will have so many possibilities. I mean, if you want to eat things that taste like fish, but you can't eat fish for whatever reason, this might be the answer to that. Mother Nature has provided us with a plant that tastes like fish. So today I'm going to dig into this thing. I'm going to try a couple of recipes using it and see if I can find a way where it tastes good even to me. I'm not sure if I can. And after you see what I do with the fish mint, be sure to head over to the channel Sauce Stash for another recipe that takes the fish mint to a whole other level. If you aren't familiar with his channel, Mark over at Sauce Stash has turned just about everything you can imagine into fake meat, from potatoes to citrus peels. I can't think of anybody more qualified to show how this leaf can actually be used to make a plant-based fish. Now, before I dive into this fishy pool, I want to thank Wanderlust Nursery for sending this to me. A while ago they sent me a leaf that tasted like beef. Now they sent me a leaf that tastes like fish. If you're interested in growing a plant that tastes like fish, or other plants that, in my opinion, taste a lot better than fish, they have an incredible selection of plants. Just go to wanderlustnursery.com. I'll put a link in the description below as well. If you do want to grow this, you do need to be aware that this plant is highly invasive. You don't want to just throw this into your garden. You want to put this in a container. If you put it in a container and keep an eye on it, you can keep it controlled. But if you were to just like put this out in your garden, it's going to turn into what you call a ground cover that smells like fish, okay? So you don't want that to happen. If you like having a bunch of stray cats show up in your yard, I mean, that's not such a bad thing, then maybe this is okay. It's a good one to grow. People do grow it. It does have a lot of uses, but use caution. Put it in a container. Here we go. First, let's try a piece of the leaf. I'm gonna go with that much of it. Oh God. You know, when I put out the beef leaf episode a while ago, some people in the comments were like, I'm not gonna trust you, you're a vegetarian, you don't know what beef tastes like. This thing tastes like fish, guys. You know, if you eat something that has fish in it and you're not used to eating fish, you notice that taste. You know what that taste is. I know what fish tastes like from those sorts of interactions, and this tastes like fish. It's not like fish sauce. It's not like tuna fish. It's more like raw fish. So there is another flavor in there besides fish, like an herbal sort of taste that I'm kind of having a hard time detecting what it is. So I've been nibbling at this leaf trying to like wade through the fishy waters and get that little flavor. And it's kind of peppery and citrusy. Imagine taking like a piece of fish, squirting some lemon on it, putting a little crack of black pepper on there. That's what you got. I don't want to completely dismiss this thing just because I don't like fish. I think this is something that has a use. And it has a good use, especially if you are like a vegan or vegetarian that likes fishy things and can't have it. This would be a good thing to use. This is something that is popular as a culinary herb in northeastern India. It is commonly used to make a salad. In Southeast Asia, Vietnam and Laos, people use this in dishes cooked with meat and in fresh salads. They use it, I believe, a lot of times with fish to like add more of a fishy taste to something that they're cooking. And in Japan and Korea, this is used to make a tea. In some parts of Japan, they actually will saute this, and by sauteing it in oil, it gets rid of some of that fishy taste. So I'm going to try that next. Looks delicious. So cooking them in oil is what I saw recommended as a way to reduce some of the fishy taste, but it does cook it down to like absolutely nothing. So I don't know if this is necessarily the best way to prepare this. It doesn't smell like fish anymore. That's good. It's still a little bit fishy, won't lie, but greatly reduced. I'd say it's like half as fishy as it was before. It's also a little bit citrusy. Like a little bit of a tartness comes out. Not much, but like a little bit. And it's a little fruity. It's like if you took a mild apple, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of like an herbal grassy flavor, and a fish, and mix those together. I think if this was mixed in with other greens, I might actually like it okay. It would impart like a little bit of a fruity flavor, and that fishy taste probably wouldn't be so noticeable if you were to mix it with other greens and maybe like some onion or garlic or something. But if you're someone who likes fish flavor, then yeah, maybe take a whole bunch of these and cook it. And you can have it like a spinach, but it would be like a spinach that had fish in it, if you're into that sort of thing. As I mentioned, this is used to make a tea in some parts of the world. In Japan, this is called dokudami. It is not consumed for pleasure, it is a medicinal thing. I also read that in Japan, the fresh leaves are used for a variety of things that are used externally. If you have a bruise or burn or a sore, you can crumple up one of these leaves, get some of the juices going, and rub it on the offending part of your body, and it'll help it heal faster and soothe it. One thing that it says it's good for also is acne. So, you know, if you got a hot date coming up and you notice you got a zit, just crumple one of these up, rub it on that zit, and you'll be good to go. Looking good for that date. You'll just smell like a chum bucket. What gives me a little bit of hope about this not being terrible as a tea is that I read online that when you dry them out, it gets rid of a lot of that fishy smell and taste. Well, yeah, this one's better. Definitely better. Let me try a little taste of it too. Yeah, when you dry it out, it doesn't really taste so much like fish anymore. So maybe that's the way to do it if you want this medicinally, because it gets rid of some of that fishy taste. However, it does show me that if you want to add a fishy taste to your food, using this as a dried herb is maybe not the way to go. You're going to want to use the fresh herbs in order to provide that flavor. So this is going to go into the water. The longer that you simmer these leaves, the more mild the fish flavor will be. So you actually want to infuse it longer. And you also don't want it to come to a boil. So I'm gonna take this off for a second. So I'm gonna leave this in for maybe like 30 minutes, and we'll come back to it then. It's okay. It doesn't taste like fish, thankfully. Maybe faintly. It's not good, but it's not bad. It's just kind of like a mediocre tea flavor. It reminds me a bit of the loquat tea that I had a while back, made from loquat leaves. What that tasted like was kind of like a mellow fruit flavor, like maybe a little bit like a very, very mild like apple juice. If I wanted this for the health benefits that it supposedly has, then yeah, I'd be able to drink this. It's okay. It's better than a lot of medicines. I mean, I would rather drink a gallon of this than a teacup full of like noni juice. So this might be the tea talking here, but I think I have a good idea that will use the fresh leaves and highlight the fish flavor. A way to use that fish flavor in a way that will be useful and maybe in a way that I will actually like. Should probably lay off this stuff, but let me show you what I'm talking about. I have 2 bowls of papaya salad here. I didn't go in crazy detail with the recipe. This is just very, very basic, using what I just happen to have in my fridge. Yes, I just happen to have a unripe papaya in my fridge. If you want a more detailed recipe, I'll put a link below to the first time that I made papaya salad on this channel. But these are just very simple. Papaya, garlic, tomato, cilantro, etc. in here. However, in this one, I cut up 2 fish mint leaves and I mixed it in. I love papaya salad. Papaya salad is so good. However, traditionally it has fish sauce in it, and I think they put shrimp in it sometimes too, like dried shrimp. So I can't have that as a vegetarian, but I'm kind of curious what that tastes like, what I'm missing out on, because that seems to be one of the key ingredients, and I can't have it. So I think by using this fish mint leaf in here, it's going to give a little bit of that flavor. So as someone who is a big fan of papaya salad, I think this might be actually good. So first, I'm going to try a bite of it without fish mint. It's good. Nice and sour, sweet, salty, spicy. It's got a nice complexity to it. I wish I had more stuff with me where I could put more spices in that, some peanuts on top, but even like this, really good. Next, with the fish mint, and I could actually see a couple slivers of the fish mint in there, so it's not like a crazy amount or anything, but it's definitely in there. It's okay. I'm not a fan of that flavor. I'm not a fan of that fishy flavor. But since that taste is mixed with other strong ingredients, that fishy flavor that is so strong, it mellows out a little bit. I still think I'd prefer it without, but I can kind of understand why you would want it in there. I feel like if I were to make papaya salad and just put a very tiny little bit of that fish mint in there, and then over time, instead of 1 leaf, I put 2 leaves, and then 3, and then 4. Eventually, I'll probably like that leaf. I think it's a lot. It's a lot, especially for someone who is not a fan of fish. That is an acquired taste, if there ever was one. So it's maybe not the sort of thing to jump in and just start eating it. But if you want to do something with the fish mint leaf, An herb. Use it as an herb very sparingly in something that calls for fish, and it does provide a fishy taste without it necessarily being overpowering if you use it in a small enough quantity. A leaf that tastes like fish is such a bizarre thing. That is such an incredibly bizarre thing. That is a gift from nature, you know? That is something to use, especially if you like fish. It is such a bizarre thing to be able to replicate that sort of flavor without using an actual fish. It is incredible. The possibilities are endless with this thing. You can maybe take those leaves and like ferment them and make like a sauce, and that'll be like a fish sauce. If you want, I'm not gonna be able to say this right, nobody can say it right, Worcestershire sauce, which has anchovies in it, this would be a way to get closer to a vegan Worcestershire sauce. Or if you're not vegan or not vegetarian and you just want to use fish without going and buying fish, you can just like run to your garden, grab a couple of leaves, and then be able to add a fishy flavor to whatever you're cooking. It's maybe not exactly the same sort of flavor, you know, but it does have a fishy taste. So you're probably gonna get as close to a fishy taste as something that is not containing fish could be. And that is saying something. And remember, if you want to see some of the true potential for this incredible plant, be sure to check out Sauce Stash's video where he actually made vegan scallops using the fish mint. I linked his video in the description below. I think that's all I have to say about the fish mint. Honestly, I was scared starting with this sort of thing, but even not being a fan of it, it is pretty incredible. So again, thank you Wanderlust Nursery for sending this to me. And if anybody watching is interested in growing this, check out the link right here and in the description below to go to wanderlustnursery.com. And yeah, that's it. So I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye. I would like to give a big shout out to Smarter Every Day, AltPod, and the Harbor Leaf Tea Company. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. I'm sure you've heard about patreon.com, but basically it is how I can afford to go on all the trips that I go on and how I get all the fruit that I review. That is all from funding from viewers like you. So if you enjoy what you're seeing here and you want to help me out, please check out the link in the description below, and there you can find out more. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.